Hello, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. I'm Paula, by the way, for those that don't know. Okay, if you've been following the introduction and part 2 of Jin Shin Jyutsu, okay, so this is what I've been doing, sort of just sharing a little bit of some of the things that I do and sort of reading through a little bit of the book to give you an idea about what is Jin Shin Jyutsu, what's it about, and giving you sort of some of the things that you can try. Okay, so let us continue. This is part 3. Okay, so let's have a look here. What are we up to? Okay, so we're up to practicing the art. To practice Jin Shin Jyutsu, you need nothing but your hands and a comfortable place where you feel at ease. Perhaps a sofa with a cozy blanket and a couple of pillows to support your arms while jump per cabling. If you don't have enough time to withdraw for half an hour, that's why I was just giving you those simple exercise, those simple things just to try to start with. Was just an introduction. Normally you could do up to half an hour or more for a session, okay? But we're just doing little bits at a time just to sort of build up your time, your habit, your time to do these things each day, just a little bit each time. If you don't have enough time to withdraw for half an hour, you can simply incorporate the flows into your daily life. For example, you can practice holding fingers almost unnoticeably during meetings, on a train, as a passenger in a car, or while reading or watching TV. What do you actually need? Okay, to keep the body healthy, we have to understand what it needs. A harmonious lifestyle is super important, in which work and relaxation, family and friends, healthy eating habits, and balanced emotional attitudes are as crucial as intuiting the meaning of life. The soul needs nourishment. The longing for fulfillment and bliss wants to be satisfied. Understanding these needs also means knowing that we cannot solve our problems, disharmonies, by relying on the same mental, emotional attitudes that brought them about in the first place. The more we practice Jin Shin Jyutsu, the more clearly we recognize what we need to live in harmony, that we may have to change our habits, that we can take our lives into our own hands, that we aren't helpless victims of circumstances. Jumper cabling, whether performed on ourselves or at the hands of an experienced practitioner, affects all levels of our being equally, body, mind, and spirit. Through the body to mind and soul. By touching the body, we gain access to the other dimensions of our being. As we jump a cable, we begin listening inward, thereby reigniting a potentially buried dialogue between body and mind. For in the course of the daily grind, our mind tends to outwit our bodily needs. Spurred by a sense of duty, it compels the body to work overtime, eat foods it can't digest, stay awake even when tired, not to mention sluggishness and bad habits. Responses to being jumper cabled. Typically, we already feel better and more relaxed right after the first self-help exercises. Or rather, we really perceive our physical tension for the first time. We become conscious of our current overall state. It could also happen, for example, that as soon as the powers of self-healing are stimulated, a dormant cold may come to the surface and become acute on the path to recovery. Jin Shin Jyutsu heightens overall self-awareness. Thus, jumper cabling may make us feel refreshed and alert, but it can also cause us to be tired, depending on our overall state on any given day. When tensions and stagnations are revived, trapped feelings and emotions can be released, passing through our consciousness once more on their way out. We are given the opportunity to re-examine these feelings, to sense potential resistances and bid them farewell. So sometimes when we begin these healing processes, there's things that have been laying hidden within us can come to the surface, and we have to sort of deal with them for them to move forward out of the way. Okay, so we can have that sense of healing in many ways. It can bring things, especially in the well-being aspects, if there's some dormant feelings or emotional thoughts or ideas that have been hidden, it can come to the surface, and we have to deal with them before we can have the healing that we really need. So it might help us to cope better and deal with those things that come to the surface. Okay, so regular practice. Regular practice is important for success. That's why I've been doing this every day with you, just so that you can get into the habit of doing something. Doesn't have to be the same thing over and over and over again, but just so that we get into this habit of doing something. Okay, repeatedly holding the same sequences over extended periods can prime the brain to switch into relaxation mode at first touch. That's why I tell you to sort of practice that same thing over the 24-hour period, just so that you get used to it and it can sort of activate, and then just keep trying it. And so as we go into the next sequence, go back and do 1 and 2 first before you do, and then do number 3. So each day you build on your practice. So you go and do 1 and 2. So you do 1 on the first day. Then next day it's 1 and 2. Next day it's 1, 2, and 3. So you go back and do the previous exercise, the previous sequences, or the previous things that we've discussed, the safety energy locks. Go through and do them, and then continue building on your practice until you get into a full routine. Okay, it's well known that relaxation techniques and autogenic training tune our brain waves to the creative alpha frequency, which fosters profound renewal and alleviates stress. The same deep relaxation can be attained through jumper cabling by ourselves or others, which reduces the release of stress hormones and stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system responsible for relaxation. Jumper cabling also soothes the enteric nervous system, the so-called abdominal brain, which has gained attention in recent years. It enables us to act from the gut and is crucial for relaying emotional impressions to the brain. Being jumper cabled by others has the advantage of allowing us for once to tune out and let go in our everyday lives. We have enough to worry about. Now we can hand ourselves over to another's tenderest touch. Sometimes having the greater distance between another will recognize the causes of our disharmony better than ourselves. Now, it's important to create your very own individualized self-help routine. So as I go through and do this as you're building on your practice, then once you get used to it, you can choose what ones work for you. Because not everything in what I've taught you is going to be maybe the best practice for you. So you've got to choose for yourself what's the best practice for you. Okay? If you have no specific health problems, wishing to jump a cable on a daily basis to maintain overall health, follow your own intuition in selecting a card. So choose a safety energy lock that you maybe want to work on, or something like that, for yourself. The fingers and the main central flow are especially well suited for daily self-help. Practice the chosen exercises for a while, then you add new exercises as you go along, and leave out ones according to your own personal needs. So some you may keep in and some you may not use if they're not suitable for your daily practice. Gathering your own experiences is the most important aspect on the road to self-knowledge. So be aware of what works and what doesn't. Special needs. If you have any specific health problems, combine your basic routine with 1 or 2 additional exercises given your particular needs. All exercises can be combined with one another at random, or just follow your intuition. Depending on your level of strain and stress, 20 to 30 minutes of jumper cabling 1 to 2 times a day will be adequate for daily harmonization and illness prevention. So overall, with doing the routine, so if you go through and do your fingers, so you go through and you're going to do each finger, okay, on both hands. So overall it could be a 20-minute session on just doing each finger, going through and seeing how that feels and being aware of that. Okay. Or maybe you go through and you pick out some part of SL1 card that I taught you, that we went through, SLE2, and now we're going to go through SEL3. So that's something that you could do. You just take 1 or 2 bits from the cards. You may not do the whole card, you may not do everything that we did, but you may take parts of it. Okay. If you're under a lot of stress on a daily basis, jumper cable more frequently. If you have an immediate acute project, jumper cable as often as possible. For chronic illnesses, you can do 2 to 3 times daily for at least half an hour over a longer period of time. For recurring projects, so if you've got migraines or anything like that, or chronic bronchitis, you can do it a little bit more. Practice all self-help exercises regularly and extensively, making jumper cabling part of your daily routine on par with brushing your teeth. There is no time limit on self-help. You know best when to stop jumper cabling. Your fingers automatically slip away when energy flows harmoniously. When jumper cabling, don't normally exceed for an hour, or if you're doing if you happen to be, working with your children or the elderly or someone who's very, very sick, don't do it any more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes will be more than enough. But if a child doesn't want to become jumper cabled, you can do the parent them instead. You can do yourself instead. Learn how different symptoms relate to each other. Health endures only if you recognize and remove the causes of the illness. Jumper cabling treats the entire person, not merely discrete symptoms. Okay, so let's do this safety energy lock 3. Okay, so we're going to do this one here. So this one is, like I said, is on the back at the top inner edge of the shoulder blade, okay, towards the spine. So on the back at the top of the inner edge of the shoulder blade toward the spine. The meaning: understanding the door, defense against problems and discomfort. Through understanding we arrive at awareness, giving and taking in harmony. I am free of all attitudes. The number 3 represents the unity behind oppositions. It is the connecting link, the synthesis. It helps us to discord of entrenched opinions. At the shoulder blade, where the rotation of the arm begins, SEL3 brings movement and permeability to all areas, like a swinging door. Restrictions of movement, primarily in the arm and shoulder areas, can be harmonized with SL3. It strengthens breathing in and out, enabling us to let go of the old and connect with the new. It can also support your respiration and boosts the immune system. And your affirmation is: life is eternal change. Life is eternal change. I learn to live my creativity. Life is eternal change. I learn to live my creativity. So when and how to hold SL3. Okay, physically it relaxes the shoulders and upper back, tennis elbow, carpal tunnel syndrome, wrist ganglion, trigger finger numbness and tingling in the fingers as the body's own antibiotic. It boosts its defense mechanism, lung ailments, bronchial asthma, colds, bronchitis, fever, autoimmune diseases, and activates lymph flow. Mental and emotional and stress, grief, all attitudes, brings new perspectives and awareness. Okay, the first thing you do, okay, so we hold the left SEL 3 with the right hand and the left SEL 15 with the left hand. Okay, so let me do this. Let me try this. Okay, so and now so SLF 15. So the SLF 15, or SELF 15, is in the middle of the groin. Okay, this is the middle of the groin. Means joy and laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. The inner ecstasy of the spirit is the secret foundation of youth. Okay, so this is the first one we're going to do. Okay, so with the right, so let me do this. Let me move the camera up so you guys can see. I'm just moving the camera slightly. Oops! Okay, so let's move this up here. Okay, so you can sort of see. So with the right hand, okay, with the right hand on the left SL3, and with the left hand, okay, whoops, with the left hand, okay, is right in here. Sorry guys, I know it's a bit, you can see. So this is what you're going to hold on to here. Okay, let me just remove my glasses. Sorry. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. So you've got your, sorry, it's not very pleasant, is it, you to be looking at there, but anyway, so that's what you're going to be doing. So you're going to breathe calmly, you're going to be very relaxed, and you're just going to feel the energy here and here. So right hand on the left SEL 3 and SEL 15 with the left hand on the left SEL 15. Okay, so remember to just sit and relax and breathe. Remember, you can pause the video at any time so that you can continue with this. Okay, so once that's done, okay, and then remember where you can pause and stop the video and just wait until you're feeling like it's complete. And then when it's done, you can actually swap over. Okay, so you got your left hand on your right SEL 3 and your right SEL 15 with your right hand. You're going to hold that there until you're ready. You guys get to see me actually in the raw. I'm not even really ready for the day, but this is just like the beginning of my day. It's just starting off. I haven't got myself organised, haven't done my makeup, haven't got anything done. It's just, it's part of my morning routine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at here is the middle finger. So you're going to hold here, the middle finger, and you're going to hold that for some time. Remember, you can pause and stop the video while you do this. All these always work quite quickly. So remember, I've been doing this for a while, so my harmonization, the pulsation I start to feel is quite quick. So that's why I say you might need to pause or stop the video before moving on to the next one. Okay, remember to breathe. And after some time, you might feel a little bit of a pulsating energy. Okay, so once you've done those two, the last thing we've got here, because we only got a small amount here, is to, okay, if you've got a fever, now this is just for if you've got if you're hot flushes, a fever of some sort. Okay, so you do hold your SEL. So do it again with your right hand, and you form a ring finger with the thumb and each of the fingers. Okay, you just sit that quietly there. So if you've got a fever or you got hot, you know, that sense of remember, we're just practicing this at this time. You may not necessarily have this, but it's just about getting that energy flow through. Woo, my hand's tingly. Things are sort of opening up. Okay, so again, so you've got your left hand on your right SEL, 3, and with your right hand, you have your fingers in like a ring, and you just sit that quietly on your knee, expecting that to come through. Okay, so that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below, check the links on my channel, like, subscribe and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care and blessed be.